Ladies and gentlemen, if you're over 70, you already know life feels different. Time moves faster, people around you change, and your own body reminds you every single day that every choice matters more than ever. At this stage, life is no longer just about adding years, it's about adding life to your years. And that's why today's message on true life wisdom is so important. I'm going to share 3 things you should never say, never do, and never go to because they quietly steal your health, your happiness, and your dignity. I won't share them in the usual order. I'll begin with the one most people ignore, then move to one that's deeply personal, and end with the most important one of all, the one you must hear before it's too late. First, the third on the list, but the one you need to hear right now, never go where your spirit feels small. At this age, your energy is precious. You cannot afford to waste it in places that shrink your soul. It might be a relative's home where you're treated like a burden. It might be a social group filled with gossip, complaints, and negativity. It might even be a community you've belonged to for decades. But if every time you leave, you feel more tired, more doubtful, and more invisible than before, the cost is too high. When you were younger, you may have endured it to keep the peace or out of obligation, but after 70, every visit to a place that steals your joy is a day you cannot get back. Your surroundings shape your spirit, and your spirit shapes your health. Studies show that seniors who stay in positive social environments live longer, recover faster, and maintain better memory. Before it's too late, step away from places that dim your soul and choose spaces where you feel seen, valued, and alive. Next is the second on the list. Never do what breaks your body just to please others. You've already spent decades working, serving, helping, lifting, and sacrificing. You've paid your dues. The biggest mistake now is ignoring your body's signals just to avoid saying no. Maybe it's carrying heavy bags because you don't want to bother your children. Maybe it's standing for hours at a family gathering so you don't appear weak. Maybe it's eating food that upsets your health simply because it's offered with love. Listen carefully. Your body is your only permanent home. If you damage it now, healing becomes slower, harder, and sometimes impossible. Those who truly love you will respect your limits, and those who don't should never control how you live. Protecting your health does not make you a burden, it makes you wise. Every no to harm is a yes to independence, comfort, laughter, and pain-free mornings. Finally, the most important one, the first in meaning but the last to be shared, never say words that close your own doors to life. After 70, your words are no longer casual. They are declarations to your mind, your body, and your soul. When you say, "I'm too old for that," your brain believes you. When you say, "It's too late for me," your heart gives up dreaming. When you say, "I can't," your body stops trying. I've seen people in their 90s learn new skills, travel, and discover new passions, not because they had more energy, but because they never told themselves they couldn't. The most dangerous prison is the one built by your own words. Replace defeat with possibility. Say, "I'm still learning." Say, "I'm willing to try." Say, "My best days may still be ahead." Science even supports this. Optimism improves heart health, strengthens immunity, and increases lifespan. Your words are seeds, and every day you choose what you plant. You may have noticed that all 3 of these warnings are about protection, protecting your spirit from toxic places, protecting your body from harmful actions, and protecting your mind from limiting words. After 70, every single day is a precious page in the final chapters of your story. You don't want those pages filled with regret about where you went, what you did, or what you said. Before we close, let me share a short story. A few years ago, I met a woman named Margaret. For most of her life, she attended the same weekly social group, but every time she left, she felt smaller. The conversations were always about illness, failure, and disappointment. One day, she chose not to go. Instead, she joined a beginner's painting class, even though she hadn't painted since childhood. On her first day, she whispered to herself, "I'm too old for this." The teacher, a man in his 60s, overheard her and smiled, saying, "You're just in time." 3 years later, Margaret's paintings hang in her local library. She told me, "I wish I had left that old group 20 years ago." But the truth is, you don't need 20 years to change your life. You only need today. So let me ask you, which of these three will you start with? Will you leave the place where your soul feels small? Will you stop doing things that break your body? Or will you begin speaking words that give you life instead of taking it away? Whichever you choose it now. Time is not waiting. This is your moment. Share in the comments which one speaks to you most and which one you wish you had learned earlier. Your words might inspire someone else to change their life before it's too late.